Hello everyone, Don here, and for today's video I decided to try something a little different where I record commentary to go on top of the video after the fact. Yeah, I didn't really prepare a script, even though I should have, but I'm just going with it, on the fly. That said, for today's video I'll be fighting Kolmi Silman Koipi. Let's see how many attempts it takes me to beat him. Okay, yeah, let's just jump right into it, shall we? All right, so here we go. I, as you may notice, I start the recording not in the start of the run, but rather when I'm ready to fight Koipi. I just basically skipped over things I've done in previous videos, like getting the experimental wand, obtaining the Tanner Kiwi through the essence, the Earth essence, I'm pretty sure it was called, getting the Paha Silma, etc. etc. But yeah, my plan here is basically to try to beat Koipi using just the Paha Silma. Why? Because I just really wanted to beat him at the start of the run, basically. Just start the run, like get me some like orbs, get me the experimental one, Paha Silma, Tanner Kivi, etc. and then attempt Koipi. Since, with the Tanner Kiwi I can just get into the pyramid by the way you just saw me do it. And yeah, how did I not notice that trap? It was right there. Seriously, looking back at my footage sometimes I wonder, like, just how stupid am I? But yeah, so I'm just clearing out the area, making sure that everything is visible first before I even try to attempt the boss, because yeah, I'm not 100% confident at this point, but I mean, I guess I must have been confident enough to think that, oh yeah, I can just beat him with. No, no, I remember exactly why I thought, sure, I can just Pacha Silma him with at the beginning of her run, and that was because of Fury Forged, because of his video that I had watched some time ago, where he actually demonstrating fighting Koipi with just the Pacha Silma. However, the problem with that is he also had a lot of extra HP and I think some perks, etc., so he could just straight up tank the boss without caring. I'm not sure why I paused at this point, but yeah. In any case, like he had like the extra HP, the perks, etc., to just tank the boss. I have none of that. I have just 84 HP, so yeah. It starts off and yeah, and there's his little ads, his uh, whatever those enemies are called. Just sadly, the experimental one isn't strong enough to defeat those slime enemies fast enough. And even though the experimental one is strong, it's kinda slow. And here I am, greeding for money as always. Why do I do this to myself? Why do I greed for money? It's like, I know for a fact that I can use the Pacha Silma and Tanner Kiwi to just get to the gold room and get 200k, 250k, I think it was that way, but yeah. Still, the Pacha Silma does do quite a bit of damage, but yeah, I have a major case of skill issue, and then I die. Yeah, so let's jump into attempt 2, shall we? Alright, here we go. Second attempt. Is this one gonna go better? We shall see. But yeah, Once again, I've skipped over getting all the things necessary to be able to break into the temple, and well, I guess technically speaking, the experimental one is a little bit of extra on top. But yeah, so just as before, go into the pyramid, clear out the area. Oh, there was one of those bigger flies above me. And yet another trap. This time around there was a little bit of terrain between me and the trap, so at least I didn't get hit. Alright, time to face the boss. Yeah, it's really annoying when the boss gets between me and the slime throwers, because that means that it's they can attack me without me being able to attack them. But yeah, I do have some pretty nice dodging here, I'd say. Also, if you're wondering why I just poured some water out, it's because I didn't know at the time that those small guys bleed slime and not toxic acid. So yeah, I thought they were like, a reskin of the toxic acid enemies from the mines. However, that was not the case. Now here, Koipi got stuck in a corner and it was very, very nice. However, skill issue strikes again. I do some nice dodging, but yeah, actually I survived that pretty well, but as you may see, I still died. I should have been a little bit more careful. But still, this proves that it's possible to defeat him at the very start if you have the skills. That is, if you have the skills, which I don't, but let's see how the rest of the attempts go. So, for attempt 3, you might notice something peculiar about where it's starting. If you haven't noticed it yet, I'm at the wrong part of the pyramid. Koipi's chamber is further up, but I didn't notice that. I thought I was in the right spot, so I just started digging here, not realizing that I was supposed to be higher up. And yeah, right now I'm being affected by that confusion ghost that keeps applying his stupid confusion on me, which I thought like I had to immediately deal with that ghost because I didn't realize at the time that I was at the wrong part of the pyramid. And then he keeps moving in and out, making me confused and then not confused, which that was very annoying. Yeah, I finally get the idea to just dig through. Yeah, a hammy spot. And I finally get to the ghost. Except this isn't even the right part of the pyramid. So I'm absolutely just wasting my time here at this point. Well, I wasted both time and HP because, yeah, that enemy, the big fly, still hit me, which was annoying. But yeah, at this point I'm finally thinking like, is this the right part? Like, how far above me is the boss? And then this is where I finally realized that I'm fucking stupid. I'm stupid as hell. The top of the pyramid is right here, not down below. And now I have less HP than I did initially. At least the alchemist enemy didn't, you know, throw any flasks before dying, which was good. I'm dealing with some traps, clearing out the area again as usual. Wait, did I not notice the trap that's literally right above Koipi? Or did I notice it and like... Oh, okay, now, here we go. I'm going to go actually deal with the... Okay, I guess I'm prioritizing the pot before the trap. Or am I actually just not seeing the trap? Like, it's been a little over a month since I recorded, um, these videos, so yeah, I have quite a backlog built up. Am I seriously not? Hello, there's a trap right below me. Why am I not dealing with it immediately? It took... I'm blind as hell. How am I this blind? How did I not notice that? At least the room is now finally clear. I have 71 HP and it's Koipi fighting time. Fantastic, I ran into that projectile. And Koipi is getting in the way. Because of course. Now you see, the smart thing is to say, fuck that gold, just focus on Koipi. And I actually said fuck the gold. Amazing. But yeah, the strategy is to just poke at him from a distance. Obviously, like from the Baja Silma's max distance, while also making sure to dodge and not do that. Even if there is a pattern to like Koipi's attacks, like he first summons extra minions, then does other attacks, and then back to minions. I don't know that order, if there is an order. Okay, what am I doing? I know that the attack won't get through, but yeah. Why did I even pull out the starter wand? Okay, this is pretty good. However, I'm not doing enough damage. Okay, I'm making sure to pay attention to his limbs. Okay, this attempt is going for a pretty long time. And it seems like it will go either way. And here I go, going for the money again. Because of course. I mean, at least this time around it was safe. It's not like I was surrounded by enemies going for money. Yeah. Actually, oh, how much damage did the experimental one deal there? Like, it's still not the most effective. There we go. It's not the most effective of ways, but like, no, no poking at him with the experimental one from a distance, not the way. But yeah, that was yet another attempt and yet another fail. Let's hope that the next attempt will go better. Alright, so fourth attempt. Same setup as always. I'm down to 70 HP already. Surely this will be the winning attempt, right? At least I managed to dodge that trap instead of, getting hit by it. And there's fire already there. I don't know why. Sometimes just random things happen and... Oh, it's the electric skull. Now, a sane person would leave the gold there. That was very risky, because if I had gotten too close to Koipi, I would have triggered the battle way earlier than I wanted to. I really hate these gunpowder pots. The Hemi spots are better since, Hemis are very easy to kill. Gunpowder pots, on the other hand, keep going forever. Okay, that was way too close. I should have probably poured out water first, then destroyed the trap. The same way. Yeah, see, the gunpowder just sticks around forever. It's ridiculous. What? Why did I do that? Why didn't I just hold left click and just try to aim better? What was the grand idea with that? Seriously. And here we go. Down to 63 because of a few pixels of fire. Fantastic. And remember, I have the experimental one, the Tanner Kiwi, and the Paja Silma. That all takes time to collect each and every single attempt. So like, every single attempt takes me so much time to set it up. Like, I think it was like, at least, no, it's definitely more than 10 minutes. I'd imagine maybe 15 to 20 minutes. First get over the mountain in any way I can find to get both a tablet and the... Oh, never mind. Here we start with the attempt, the actual fight. Down to 50 HP already. And down to 6 instantly because, yeah, I suck at dodging. Where the fuck is Koipi going? Well, he's fighting some enemies, which is great for me. In fact, they're dealing quite a bit of damage to him. Of course, I agreed for the money. Money, 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 I want money. Or something, that's how I sound. But yeah, no, the enemies are actually doing pretty... pretty well against him, so, you know. And also that's a pretty nice spot for him to be stuck at. They took away like half his health. And actually, the experimental one actually does quite a bit of damage here, I'm realizing. And I died. Fantastic. Hey, Sekio? Something like that? I'm not sure how it's pronounced. I got some progress, yay! Except it's not the progress that I wanted. Well, let's move on to the next attempt and yeah. Another attempt, another 20 minutes wasted. At least they're a waste if I, die. Because, I first have to go get over the mountain to get, the altar orb and also the tablet. Then use the tablet to good job past me. Which I then use the tablet to get over the achievement tree in order to get the Paha Sirman, then continue to get the experimental wand, and I did the thing that I said that could have happened the last time. I greeded for money, and here I am, fighting the boss earlier. But yeah, after the experimental wand, it's walking all the way back, over the mountain again, through the desert, get another orb. No, fantastic, I stepped into the teleportation and am surrounded by enemies. Fantastic. But yeah, get the second orb and a new tablet. Then dig through the fucking thing for the Earth Essence. That takes forever with the Tanner Kiwi. Although on this one I had magic missiles, but even then, like, yeah. Then carry the Earth Essence back to the Essence Eater, get the stupid Tanner Kiwi, and finally I'm ready to do the attempt. Only to die in 2 fucking minutes. Yeah. Over 20 minutes of setup, and the fight is like 2 minutes. Fantastic. Here we go with attempt 6. Now, if you're wondering why it's starting from the very beginning instead of at the pyramid, that's simply because this was initially going to be just a regular run where I just go around and play the game normally. Oh, me. This tells you exactly when this was recorded, so a while back. But yeah, I'm only now getting to, editing the footage and so on. But anyway, this is going to be initially a normal run, where I just play regularly instead of trying to, fight Koipi again, because I really didn't feel like, just spending another 20 minutes only to die in 2. So I'm just playing regularly. But yeah, it's like... However, at a certain point, this run actually turned into another Koipi attempt, because, yeah, and at this point I'm pausing quickly to check out what Memmi is. It's apparently some kind of pudding that looks like shit or something, and apparently it's an acquired taste, and yeah, if you eat it in game you get the loathsome man meter, which is an Elden Ring reference to like the loathsome dung eater. So yeah, but yeah, in any case, I'm so slow on uploading videos because editing these together takes some time, and as you may have noticed, if there's any people that consistently watch my videos or something, like, you may have noticed that I went from more edited videos to videos that have more minimal editing, and that's simply because it actually, yeah, it takes time, and I'm really not feeling the style much anymore. But yeah, at this point I'm just going regularly through the run. He collected a broken wand, which, yeah, at that point I had yet to fix a wand. I guess this is a bit of a spoiler for future videos because I do end up, fixing some wands at the Hisi anvil. Yeah, and that just tells you the sheer amount of videos that I'm ahead because, yeah. I mean, I guess I also ended up scrapping a number of other potential videos because just nothing interesting happened in them. Most of the footage that I'm keeping nowadays is ones where I either like get to the snowy depths or beyond. Now, if you're wondering what I'm doing, I'm being very stupid. I should be using my bomb here to just, open the chest and also get to it, but instead I'm waiting for the fire because I want to keep my bombs, even though, this entire wait just isn't worth it. Also to the left, you can see a formation that can have a heart or a chest in it, so that's nice. Although it's also the heart or chest is usually also surrounded by tons and tons of acid enemies, and oh nice, the chest finally opened, and I just keep waiting for the fire. I finally decide to use a bomb, and the money disappears and I hit myself. Immense skill issue from me right here. Good thing that the Hamis missed me, because that could have been quite a bit of damage, like it was there. Imagine 3 Hamis bites at the same time. Would you look at that, a bomb wand with 0 bombs. Fantastic. And yeah, all of the oil burned away, so I didn't have any to, you know, to finish the puzzle. That puzzle usually has, a decent amount of, some pretty decent ones, so yeah. Or at least ones that are decent for me, since, I lack skill. Obviously, someone more skilled can more easily get something better going, but yeah, not me. That was a nice tablet there, followed by absolutely skill issuing the shotgun enemy, and so I have to move on earlier. And this is the moment that turned the run into a Koipi attempt. That plasma, uh, what was it called? Plasma beam was the other one. That plasma cutter. That plasma cutter is basically like a Paha Silma, except I fire it from my wand and I can easily kill myself with it. So I took electricity as a perk because it's a nice perk. Like, it makes me immune to electric damage, which is pretty nice. And yeah, now I'll skip forward in the footage a little bit because you don't want to see me shopping here for forever again. Plus, I don't have too much commentary to say while shopping. So, yeah. So, yeah, at this point, as you can see, I'm angering the gods because I was testing around with my plasma, trying to see which one could fire it off the most consistently. And now I have to deal with Stevari. This time I'm trying to do it with, you know, my plasma, which actually can work out pretty nicely because he got stuck at a good spot there. But then obviously he got unstuck. But at least he can't get to me, and if I can actually hit him, and that was interesting. When the spark bolt hit that lamp, it fired off 2 plasmas instead of 1. Does that mean that the lamp works similarly to the statue where it duplicates the spark bolt. But yeah, all reliable. Kill him with the tablet. But yeah, that was actually interesting. I didn't know that the light seems to function similarly to the statue. Because like when you hit the statue with a spark trigger, it actually duplicates the spark trigger. I guess maybe the same thing goes here with the lamp, which is why it duplicated into two plasmas. Okay, so here we are at the pyramid. I'm down to 72 HP, and I'm using the plasma cutter to get through. Nice, that electric skull just, suffocated in the wall. Interesting spawn there. But yeah, the black hole is obviously better for digging, so I just used that. And what the hell am I doing at this point? I guess I'm wary of the big fly enemy because he can be pretty scary. Yeah, nothing a little bit of plasma doesn't fix. At least if I aim it, carefully. And yeah, there he goes. So as always, clear out the area, make sure that there aren't any surprises, surprise traps, surprise enemies, surprise anything. Like maybe if I had generally, more HP, better perks, better wands, etc., I could have likely, I would have needed probably to be less careful, but I'm not at that level. After all, I'm trying to fight Koipi with just directly the plasma cutter, which is already super super risky. So yeah, here we go. Yeah, I like it when he runs into the plasma cutter and he knocked me back. Yeah, this is a pretty precarious position and out of mana. That's bad. So he's down to 500 HP. And I'm down to 35. I really hate it when he body blocks for his stupid minions. But yeah, that was a good bit of damage while taking... yeah, I should have probably focused on dodging. And I drank all of my Berserkium thinking that it would help somehow. Well, it would maybe help if I could hit. Okay, just dodge. Just dodge. I'm talking as if I'm talking to myself. I'm talking as if my words right now can be heard by past me. Anyway, so I killed the stupid fucks. Except I still die. Attempt number 7. Lucky number 7. Once again I did the whole song and dance to get the Tanner Kiwi, etc, etc. So yeah, 20 minutes, and let's see if I die in 2. The ambience in the pyramid is pretty creepy. Like the people at Noita Games know how to, do sound design for their game. It's like some of the best I've heard. Like the ambience is really nice, music is nice. Like the music boxes are some of the best music I've heard. And then there's also like I really love the Call Me Silma music. I wish I could hear it for myself in game. However, that will happen maybe hopefully one day. The OSTs for the jungle and tower are also really... What the fuck am I doing? Why did I spend so much time just... What was I mentally preparing myself that long? Well, anyway, down to... That was some very risky moves I did there. And yeah. All of that prep work only to die to that enemy's projectile. Well, here we go again. 7 attempts were not enough. What about 8? Is attempt number 8 going to be the winning one? Or is this going to be another 20 minutes of my life that I just wasted? It's like, you can't even argue that I'm improving because some runs or some attempts I get farther along. Other attempts I die so fast I barely deal any damage. And as you can see, I'm starting with 48 HP on this attempt. Well, here we go. 35 HP. Wow, I can't aim for shit. That was very risky. I just stood there and the attack somehow managed to miss me. And I still got hit in the end. Attempt number 9. Once again, I'm starting it from the very beginning because this is a run that wasn't planned to be, a Kol Misilman Koipi attempt. However, it eventually became an attempt. The 9th attempt. Let's see if perhaps this will be the successful attempt. So starting the run, I obviously threw out my snow because I'd much rather have water on hand, and I've got a little bit. If I can find a bunch of toxic sludge, I can just convert it and then scoop it up. Here's a bunch of water. But yeah, so far the run is going pretty well. 100 HP. And finally a third wand. Sadly it's a shuffle wand and the spell is nothing much. Although this heart is a pretty nice find. And the explosive box at the bottom there was even nicer. Opening up the path instead of, me having to waste one of my bombs. Well, I guess it's not a waste, but, if I can get to the heart without using a bomb, it would be better, because then I could use that bomb somewhere else. Ah yes, covering myself with water, that's going to help for the acid. Yeah, acid is nothing like toxic sludge. Like toxic sludge, you could maybe, cover yourself with water and, pass through at least a little bit of it. Acid is a whole nother story. Down to 10 HP and I'm not heading to the mountain. I mean, technically speaking, these hemis are, easy kills, but I can easily just, do that. Exactly that. If there was a second Hemis that managed to get a hit on me, that would have been very disastrous. Since, I was one Hemis bite away from death here. And at least I managed to, successfully push my luck enough to actually get into the Holy Mountain. Obviously, the first thing to do in the Holy Mountain is refill your water, because that's your most important flask. That was some nice short telly bolts there that I saw. And it's perk picking time. Yeah, I really want that Seri Kiwi. Yeah, one of these days I really want to, actually use the Seri Kiwi to, get back up to the surface. Alright, so at this point, as you can see, I'm trying to use the pheromone to, well, yeah, I think it was Dunk or Slam. I think I saw it in one of his videos where he was, or was it Fury Forged? One of the two. I saw a video where one of the two was using, pheromone to bring the the ones to life and then kill them for money. So I was trying to do that here. However, I guess I didn't really understand how to do it properly. Hence why, yeah, and as you can see, I don't understand that you actually have to use physics to kill the wand. Eventually, I kick the rock into it and get it done. So now at this time, I didn't understand exactly how the whole wand selling mechanic worked with, pheromone on the wands, etc., etc. I didn't know that you need perfectly flat ground and a pheromone in there, which is why, I'm doing this instead. Eventually I'll learn it, but not this one. Alright, so finally done with, all of my wand tinkering, messing around with pheromone, etc., etc. Time to move into the coal pits. Oh, that's a chest to the right, and I'm right in the middle of like many enemies, which is not ideal. I should really be, taking the things slow and steady instead of just rushing into a bunch of enemies and taking a bunch of hits like that. But yeah, some flummoxium. Wait, did I not notice the chest earlier? I guess either the enemies distracted me or I never noticed the chest. Oh yeah, look, this right here is a formation where there's like a bunch of coal under it, and in that coal there's a chance for a chest, a heart, or nothing. Sadly, I only have 2 bombs on hand, meaning that this is the only formation I'll be able to check. But yeah, if you see this snaking bit of wood like that's like snaking inside the wall, this is the only place in the coal pits where you can find, and there's a treasure chest. But yeah, this is the only formation in the coal pits where you can actually see that snaking wood, and if you see it, then there's a chance for a treasure chest or a heart underneath. So at this point I'm just letting the coal burn while I wait, and there we go, wasting a bomb. Well, in the end I had to use my other bomb, and the chest had only money in it. Fantastic. Also notice how there's a hive below this formation. So the hive isn't going to always be there, but if there's a hive, you should consider checking above it for potentially this formation. I think pretty sure this is also a formation with a chance for a heart, since yeah, I've seen hearts spawn on here before. I came back, yeah, for water and to also refresh my spells, since I ran out of bombs. A shop, and this is once again the moment I decided to actually attempt fighting Koipi. Once again, I got my hands on on the plasma cutter spell, which means I can attempt Koipi. Somehow I made it out with 1 HP. That was very lucky for me. Oh, there's some pretty nice spells in the shop. Digging Bolt, Triplicate spell. So obviously the best one here is Extra Perk. But yeah, Triplicate, Digging Bolt, Orbiting Arc, Energy Orb, Double spell. This is a pretty nice shop in general. Long distance short tail is really goated. I love it because yeah, you can just exit the mountain like that. Wait, why the fuck did I buy the trigger version instead of the regular version of, energy orb? Oh, that's why. Honestly, I'm personally not much of a fan of, the trigger spells that aren't a Spark Bolt. Although I guess, like, if all you have is Magic Bolt with trigger, then that's all you have. You have angered the gods. Oh yeah, long distance cast with, yeah. This can work pretty well. Although, that can also happen where he just, turns it around on me. Yeah, you have to hit him just right. And I somehow managed to survive that. But yeah, his shield is really annoying here. And we're back at the pyramid once more. Let's see if this attempt against Koipi is actually going to be successful or not. But yeah, this time around I have 142 HP and way more in terms of wands and whatnot, so yeah, this is probably the most ready I've been for this for this fight. It's finally time to actually fight Kolmi Silman Koipi once more. Attempt 9. That was a pretty clean attempt actually, other than, towards the end when one of the slime guys was, going around. Yeah, that hit was pretty avoidable. Yeah, for the most part, it's finally done. I finally beat Kormi Silman Koipi. So that's well, stat-wise it's generally decent, except for that abysmal mana charge speed. Like if it had higher mana charge speed, it would be so much better. But yeah, still two copies of quadruple spell is pretty nice. And yeah, I finally got my hands on the Nolla spell, so yeah, that's pretty exciting. This was in fact, even though I've like looked up a bunch of things about the game and whatnot, and I've watched a whole bunch of videos. This was actually my first time properly like reading the descriptions of some of these spells, specifically the random spells, since I didn't know much about them before now or before this moment. Yeah, those quadruple spells sure would come in handy. So with my victory against Scorpy, what is next, you might wonder? Well, let's start by taking a look inside this tower. Like I've obviously gone by the watchtower before multiple times. However, I haven't actually. Yeah, that was an interesting little jingle that played there. But yeah, sadly I couldn't see the if there's anything on the background or not here. I could barely see anything, so I increased my brightness just to see if there's anything. And in fact, yeah, there is. As far as I understand, that's the first hint on one of the quests in this game. And yeah, here I am seeing this for the first time. Although I did know about other parts of the quest from like before, but like before this point in time I hadn't like fully seen every single part of the quest myself, and not even in videos and whatnot. Alright, we're at the lake of fish, so time to head upwards. While past me is here during the temple quests, the 4 temple quests, or at least a portion of it. I'll talk about a bit about yeah, what's my goal from here. And after having beaten Salve and Tuntia and Kolmisilm and Koipi, I think it's only obvious who the next target is, and that's the High Alchemist or Ylialkemisti. At this point, I was basically thinking, yeah, after checking out this quest, since I obviously have a nice teleport wand, I should take a moment to check this quest out, and then after that, I'll take the time to challenge Ylialkemisti. So here's the ominous temple where, yeah, you have to fill in the central basin thing with the liquid that's at the bottom, which to do that you need to acquire a spell from one of the other temples, specifically the one you get at the Henkeve temple, which is where I'm heading right now. And here we are at the Henkeva temple. I think out of the 4 temples this is the biggest one, and yeah, there's a bunch of empty potions lying around. I think there's more than 10 here, but you only need to interact with 10 of them. I think, I'm not 100% sure. But yeah, I'm checking right now at the bottom of the temple, because just like how the ominous temple had some milk at the bottom, like at the bottom corner hidden away, I was wondering if this temple also has something, because yeah, at the time I didn't really know about I actually didn't know about the hidden milk and beer portions that are at the ominous and I think Kiwi temple. I mean, yeah, we just saw that the milk was at the ominous temple, and then there's beer at the Kiwi temple. Yeah, there's a little bit of pheromone that's always guaranteed to be here in case you don't have pheromone with yourself. Thankfully, I already have pheromone on me, so yeah, I can just move over to the Baron temple. There's some ice at the Baron Temple that when you go down it, although I'm pretty sure this area, yeah, there's also an entrance on the left there. But yeah, down here is a single potion mimic, or mimicium potion, or yeah, I think the Finnish name is like Henkeva Potu, which I guess makes sense. But yeah, to pick this guy up, you just cover him in pheromone and pick him up, though I first need to, get some inventory space. Those who attain the fruit of the house above the triadic tomb shall hold this truth. The holiest ground is most fertile when touched by our water. This is basically a hint for an interaction that you can do, and that interaction has to do with one of the spells that you get from the temple quest line, which is the touch of grass, which you get from the ominous temple. And then there's also another spell, which is touch of gold question mark, basically just touch of piss, which I actually got in a previous video once. And apparently if you basically piss on the divine ground that comes from touch of grass, it actually turns into helium gas, which is neat. But anyway, yeah, the portion of the quest I'm doing right now is using the mimicium potion to fill these empty potions, and as you can see, the lights down there come to life, or light up, they become green. And I need to basically fill in 10 mimicium potions to finish this part of the quest and unlock the Sea of Mimicium spell, which is a pretty powerful spell if you're actually using your potions, since you can basically like use it to always have infinite ambrosia or infinite healthium or lively concoction, whichever you have on hand. You can use it to get infinite pheromone if you need it, etc, etc. Yeah, here I go, filling in. I think these are the last ones. Yep, and here it is. Seal of Mimicium. Now you need to take that Sea of Mimicium and put it on a wand to spread the Mimicium at the ominous temple to fill the base in it and get your hands on the Touch of Grass spell. However, yeah, I don't have Tinker with Wands and everywhere. I did upload another video called Noita the Touch of Grass run or whatever, where I did actually do all the steps for acquiring the Touch of Grass spell. I actually recorded that video way more recently than this one. Like the video right now, all these Koipia attempts were like at the end of March, while the Touch of Grass one I did like earlier this week. So like at the end of April, like around the 30th of April, basically on the same day as oh yeah, and then there's also this thing between the ominous and Kiwi temples. This has to do with a whole another quest line, which it's too early for me to do that quest line. I still need to improve my skills and whatnot. Yeah, actually the Touch of Grass run, that video I recorded way more recently because and yeah, here's the Kiwi boss. It's a rock that reflects all damage onto the attacker, and actually I think it reflects more than what I hit it with, so yeah, not worth the battle here. Like that boss is once I get, a good wand, that a good homing attacking wand, and also the cessation spell with like increase lifetime, and yeah, that's still pretty far off for me. But yeah, the video that was the Touch of Grass run, I recorded that on the same day that new secret roles dropped on the Noita Discord. Actually, yeah, basically I just wanted the Uruahun Kuskia role, which you get by getting Touch of Grass and killing yourself with it. So I'm just wondering where to put the Mimicium potions, since yeah, I need to I'd rather keep other stuff in my inventory, and namely go and get back my tablet. Now this is something I didn't know about actually, which is if you put a Mimicium potion on the altar, that is not what you seek, and then it starts a Mimicium potion rain. I didn't actually know that that was possible. That was a thing here. I knew that you can put some things into the altar, like for example, if you put a tablet, it can turn into money. Yeah, and also you can use the altar for an alternate ending once you have the sample. or salt or whatever, but I didn't know that putting potion mimic there actually triggers a potion mimic rain. So yeah, and that was an interesting thing to learn about. Like even with all of the things I've learned about through just looking up and watching videos and whatnot, this was one of the things that I didn't learn until I threw a mimicking potion here just now, or like at the time when I was recording this video, which yeah, this game is deep, and that's what I love about it. I can spend so much time learning about it through outside sources, and there's still going to be new things for me to learn through playing the game, which I really enjoy about this game. I really enjoy that aspect. All right, time for the Ylialkemisti battle. Time to challenge the High Alchemist. So between the last boss and now, I basically just retrieved my tablet from the Baron Temple, and now it's time to attend the High Alchemist. If you notice, there's a small like church in the background, and that's basically if you line yourself up with that and then dig straight down, you can go directly to the alchemist and avoid the very dangerous I think it's called alchemist's lab or alchemist cavern or whatever the place is called. You can just avoid that, avoid the area that stands between you and the alchemist, and just dig straight to him. Now, going into this fight, I wasn't fully confident that, that I'd win, but I thought, why not? Because actually unlocking the Greek letter spells would be huge, but that's of course if I can beat him. And here we are. I've done my digging, I've prepared my wands, and it's time to see if the same setup I used to beat Poipy is going to be enough to beat the Alchemist. Now, I don't seem to be doing that much damage, at least I can, I can actually hit him. And he just walked into the plasma cutter on his own. Well, if depending on how, yeah, depending on how I activate the plasma cutter, I can actually pierce through the shield, but if it's too close, he turns it around on me, which, yeah, that's not nice. Still, I managed to get him down to 714, but he got me down to 41 HP. Now this here could have been very big for me, since, I just need to like just go in, poke him, move back. Go in, poke him, and move back. And right there, I accidentally clicked out of the window because I'm playing Noita windowed, which for me it's more comfortable that way. So yeah. So I'm doing a pretty decent job of, carefully poking him, and then except for when he takes over my own spell, but yeah, look, he's down to 276 or something like that. And then I died. That was the end of the run. Still, I managed to get my first victory against Kolmisilman Koipi after 9 attempts. And so that was the story of how I defeated my second boss in Noita. The first one was Salva and Twintia using the Zergstrat, and now the second one was Kolmisilman Koipi using a plasma cutter, long distance plasma cutter, which was huge for me. I still maybe want to one day attempt to fight him again with from the very start using just the Paja Silma, but I don't really feel like doing that anytime soon. But one day I will come back and beat him using just the Paja Silma and superior dodging skills. Mark my words. But yeah, next target, Ylialkemisti. I will unlock those Greek letter spells, but that will maybe take a few more videos. But anyway, thank you all very much for watching. I'm Don, and I hope you watch more of my videos. I hope this was interesting, and yeah, and bye.